some of everything and do some of everything. Prior to that, I worked for Disney. Prior to that, I worked for Six Flags and in various different roles. So I've been in and out of law enforcement as well as a kind of a theme parking, community service kind of mode for most of my lifetime. So like I said, I've seen and done some of everything. One of the biggest things that we see in our crime prevention area and things within different communities is a lot of finger pointing. A lot of people go, well, safety's your job, safety's your job, safety's your, I'm here to tell you, everybody at home, safety is every single person's job. And the crime prevention method, nothing's ever guaranteed. We can put every layer of crime prevention we can ever think of, and somebody's still gonna get in. You got beautiful gates out front, push button to get in. If I was a dishonest person, I can still get in. You got locks on your doors, you got windows on your house, I can still get in if I'm a dishonest person. So with that in mind, as many layers of this crime prevention we can put in at your house, at the clubhouse, within the community, anything like that, as many layers as possible that deters people from coming in. I want your house to have as many layers on it so the bad guy comes up and goes, yeah, I'm gonna go to your house. No, you do that, you do that, you do that. Now I'm gonna go to this street, I'm gonna go over to this guy's house. So that everybody in the community does something to make their own little planet, part of the planet safer. We're gonna get these bad guys up and out of here. Now we throw all into that with a little bit of some patrols, some volunteer patrols, security, anything that's extra that we can throw in there. Now we're throwing more and more of those deterrents out there to get somebody to move along. Let them go down the road to Boyle Roost or, whatever the next neighborhood is out the road. We're not picking on those stuff. As much as we can do in your community, that's what you got control over, your community. I don't care what happens outside those gates, where you, obviously we all care, but as best as we can do, keep your little part of the world safer. That's what we're making concerned with. For the sheriff's office, now we do have patrols that work 24/7. There's deputies out there all the time. Are they in your neighborhood all the time? Obviously not. We have to prioritize calls. We got to go where the calls for service are. If it's a robbery, if it's whatever's going on, it pulls extra deputies. We have the county broken up into different sectors, and there's deputies assigned to each sector per day, everything going on. But they're not restricted to that one sector. So if there's a big crime or anything going on, they got kind of shift to where the calls are. This morning I was supposed to be putting out a sign for motorcycle safety. Ironically, I was right down the road from where a guy on a bicycle got hit and killed. So then I spent the first half of my shift today standing out with a road closed on BBL Boulevard. I didn't plan on doing that, but that's kind of what gets the brass. Same with patrol deputies. We kind of got to go where we have to go. So there's never a guarantee that there's going to be a sole person in Village Hall. We get in and get out when we can. We get calls for service. We come in, we drive around a little extra block, see what's going on. That's 24/7. We have dispatchers that are out there working 24 hours a day up in our comm center. So they're there to take your call. A lot of times what I see is a lot of this on Facebook. Y'all have a Facebook group or anything like that? Chat.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people. No, I won't mention any community celebration. Because you have the same management company still, right? I worked in celebration under a contract, an interlocal agreement, where they paid 100% of my salary, and I stayed in celebration 40 hours a week, 40 plus hours a week. So I got really intimate with each road, each house. I knew which car would go in front of each house. So I spent a lot of time over there dealing with their CBD and things like that as well. But where we kind of, hard to say, humble, but I'm saying it really crazy, that gets in trouble. We like to work with each community as best we can, but there's no guarantee. In celebration, they paid for a deputy. That was the guarantee that there was always a deputy there. I wasn't the replacement for those zone deputies. So they still got calls for service, those deputies still came. A lot of people thought that we're paying extra, but we already pay taxes. That's not the case. You still had those tax paid deputies coming into the celebration. I was the one that got to know everybody where they lived. I was the one that they called me deputy sheriff. That's cool. I was that guy with the Barney fight in their neighbor. And we go back a little ways. Could that happen here? Money talks. You know, if and again, like I said, I'm not here to sell things. If you want a deputy, now we also have, and that's a little extreme, celebration of that budget. We have off-duty details, so we have deputies. We have places around the county, not just HOAs, but different businesses, construction companies. You name it, they put in and say, yeah, we want to pay for a deputy from this time to this time. So watch out for this. If it's something going on specifically in the community, sometimes they'll say, yeah, we can trouble with the pools on Friday night, we need somebody up by the pool. I've sat at different hotels watching school groups because the school group wanted to be the babysitter. So I sat in the hallway all night long to make sure the boys stayed on the side of the wall, make sure the girls did. If they're willing to pay that rate and we're available, we do that. So we can do that for a community as well. A couple of drawbacks with a gated community is that we have to have an approval from the CDD through legal to actually do traffic enforcement inside of the gated community. If we get that approval, then you can have a detail or a paid deputy come in here and do specifically traffic. Stop sign running and speeding is an issue. Boom, we can get that addressed. Is it a cure? No, but as more people see flashing lights and more people get thinking about doing something stupid in their car. There's other things that you can put. I'm a big fan of speed tables. If you don't know what it is, it's not the speed bump in front of politics or anything like that. A speed table usually takes up about 15 feet wide on the entire length of the road. It slowly taper up, and usually it's flat on top to correspond with a crosswalk, and then it tapers down. You cannot go more than 25 miles an hour. A speed bump. If you have a problem speeding, especially on a main road, those are something good to get called in. There's an approval process through the county. But there's a lot of things that can get done that can combat another issue that comes in. Safety wise, we have in the crime prevention unit, we have business and residential security surveys. I go to about 240 hours of the crime prevention classes every 2 years to become certified with the state of Florida to be a crime prevention practitioner. And we spent 2 days talking about light bulbs. I'm like a genius on light bulbs. But part of those surveys, it's free. We'll come out to your house and walk around your house or your business if you're a business owner. We'll come out to the hospital and walk around. We'll look at different trees. We look at locks. We look at lighting. We look at anything we can do to give you ideas of ways you can make your business or your house more safe. A lot of it is maintenance. You find a lot of maintenance issues. Trees that are handed down, bushes that are grown way up, lighting, a lot of things like that are maintenance issues. But we can kind of work those out and give you suggestions of things to do. If you're interested in that, you can always give us a call, give us a phone number, and we'll out. But for homes and businesses, we can want to do that. The little peace of mind. Hey, I know we're doing everything right. We point to the neighbors, I'm out there talking to you. I'm like, hey, dude, those trees that hang down here, that gives people a place to buy, especially in the Halloween coming up. Winter breaks coming up. We know who we're all talking about. We talk about school, right? It's going to be running around. So as many little things like that as we can do as well, we're happy to come out and offer that service for you. So just give us a call. And if I'm right here, if you have any questions, please raise your hand or something like that. I'm also here for you. Anything that you specifically want to hear or talk about, I'm happy to help extend the board back here.
Yeah. We have a question online.
Okay.
Are you ready? Rose Serrano, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, actually. I have a question for the sheriff. The
Yes.
people that are actually doing or in our committees for security go and knock on neighbors' doors and disturb their homes to claim certain things that, for example, noises or things like that, or they should be calling the non-emergency line?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the rules of the community are, and if the question is in here, can members of the safety board go knock on people's doors and talk about noise? You know, if my neighbors are making noise, I'm knocking on their door and telling them to keep it down a little bit. Yeah, whatever the rules and the regulations are within the bylaws and that within the CDD, that's a question I'm not really able to answer. I would caution people sometimes in the day, hopefully we know who our neighbors are. I tell my wife, don't even honk the horn at the knucklehead in front of her anymore. There's too many road rage incidents that happen. Sometimes it's better to tuck your tail and just kind of leave it alone rather than go and cause it up. So if somebody's going out knocking on doors, I just kind of caution people on the safety of doing that. If you don't know who you're making contact with, and if it's within the rules of the community, then if that allows them to knock on people's doors and say, be quiet, you know, it's also a respect thing. If you're the guy out there playing your music at 11 o'clock at night, knock it off, turn it off. You respect your neighbors, respect the community a little bit as well. And again, to get back to your question, it's a little tough because I don't know exactly what the rules allow the safety committee.
We don't have any formal safety right now. So I would suggest that she call the non-emergency number for any concern.
Yeah, if there's a noise complaint, you can always call. And for anybody here, if you call our non-emergency number, which is 348-2222, 407 area code, you can stay anonymous. You can report a noise complaint or anything that you see and say, yeah, I don't want the deputy to call me. I don't want the deputy to come to the house and stay anonymous. Sure.
Say that precisely what we did a few years ago. We had a neighbor that was playing music so loud that you could not hear the cars in a NASCAR race. You could hear the engine. That's how loud it was.
Yeah.
And we very kindly, please turn it down. And he said something to us in Brooklynese.
Under mute.
And I said, it's fine. I called the non-emergency number and I said, we have a problem here. It's extremely loud. And they said, yes, that we're aware of that. We're the 40th person call. And the deputy is on his way. And they sent a deputy. He knocked on the door. Of course, the man shows up with a badge, fully kitted out, and that takes a lot.
That usually works. I've been to certain residences on the same night over and over again. And and any deputy can do it. We can write them a nice, very expensive noise ordinance ticket. You know, as a last resort, we try not to, but if they don't want to listen to me saying, I need to turn it down, they're gonna have a little hole in the wall then, and we'll fix that. So, but yeah, please, if there's any issues with noise or suspicious, anything, just call it in. I'd rather have 100 false complaints.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
And I don't think false will lie, but that's bad. You're around the course line, but if something going on over this house, let me come over there now and maybe prevent the crime from happening. Maybe somebody was casing the place, you don't know. Now they know the cops are watching them, they might just take off. So yeah, anything that you see, call it in. We call for service, it's hard for the sheriff to justify more deputy positions if we don't have any calls for service to back it up. We can talk about it on Facebook amongst each other in our community, but if it doesn't go to the sheriff's office, or we can go, look, we've got 4,000 calls from Bill of Soul this year. Maybe let's restructure our zones, maybe put a deputy in the zone. Hey, county commission, we need money for more deputies because we got all these calls for service. So don't discount anything. You know, don't call it anything, you know, lying about it. If there's something or concern, call it in. Because that helps the sheriff justify getting more help out. So anything that we can do to get more cops on the road, more the better. So.
Then we have one more question. Rose, are you done with your question?
I have a second question. I'm sorry. Thank you for that answer. I just wanted to clarify because there's been instances that we heard that some of the members of the committee have gone into people's houses, making them a little uncomfortable. But I appreciate that advice of calling the non-emergency line. The second question is, before we used to have services through the sheriff office, but unfortunately, and I don't want to generalize, but the sheriff was just in one section of our community. We did not see patrolling. I did not see movement. I'm not sure if that happened maybe after hours, but just having a sheriff in one location, just having his truck or his car parked there really doesn't help, or it doesn't really does what we are looking for, to have more like the community aware that there's someone, you know, rounding and watching what's going on, especially in the darker areas. So is it something that you can talk about? You said you served for, you did your services for celebrations. So how is that in other communities in difference than the one we used to have when we used the sheriff?
there's no way to guarantee any law enforcement is going to be able to stay in your community unless you pay extra for that, be it as a deputy or pay a security company to do constant patrols where they're being paid to stay here within the community itself. Deputies are unfortunately sometimes are shorthanded with vacations, and I know that's really not anybody who cares. Give me more cops. That's why we call more in. But we're going call to call sometimes. We don't have a lot of time as much as we did in the past with the growth in Osceola County. So it's difficult to say, yep, this deputy spent 30 minutes in Villa Sol. This deputy spent 30 minutes down. It's really not possible. We got to go call to call. We prioritize calls for service. Obviously, in progress call persons or property crime or fire or crash, we have to dedicate the personnel to go those ways. So it's hard to say deputies do come in. Could I tell you exactly how much time a deputy spends in the community? No possible way. I don't know who's in and out on a daily basis, but really, again, not trying to sell it, but if you want somebody here, constant presence,
We need to pay.
probably got to pay for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what we had. We had a con.
I think we cut off there.
Oh no, sorry. That we had a contract service for I think it was a couple hours in our community, and I think that was paid by the HOA. I'm not quite sure, but the sheriff was there like for a couple hours during the night. But basically, it was just stationed in some areas and not really like patrolling. So I guess my question is it possible to have patrolling if we actually pay for it?
Yeah, of course. It's kind of a contract that the vendor would apply with the sheriff's office. And you could say, I want them from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. And I want them from this time to this time to sit in front of the clubhouse. I want them from this time to this time to patrol. And deputies on those off-duty details have a detail sheet, an activity sheet that we would fill out and provide to either the CDD or the HOA. It goes, here's proof of what we're doing. So you kind of get a receipt for what you're paying for as well. Okay. And if you don't like the action that you want, you can change the dates and the times around. If you want more traffic, now, nobody can say write tickets. The CDD, safety committee, the HOA cannot tell the deputy to write a ticket. The sheriff can't tell me to write a ticket. It's up to each deputy. We have discretion by law, whether you get a warning or a ticket. So you can say, as if it's a CDD hiring a deputy, I want them to do traffic enforcement. That's what kind of got to limit that. You can't say, I don't want tickets. We can't do that. But yeah, you can certainly say, boom, I want deputies here from this time to this time, and I want them to concentrate on traffic. Or I concentrate on patrol.
Thank you. Now, what kind of things do you think homeowners can do to increase or at least maximize how much security we're getting? Because our streets are very dark. I mean, we have a light post like every probably 200 feet apart, and there's a lot of dead spots. Some trees are growing over the lights. They don't provide any adequate lighting. I keep my coach lights on from, the dawn to, or it's dusk till dawn, but I know a lot of people don't. And I just want to know if you feel lighting help or what other.
Lighting is a huge thing. And I have to go and look at the lighting. There's, if it's like the metal halide or the low pressure sodium bulbs or high pressure sodium, they all put out a different color of light, like the kind of the yellowish ones. Doesn't give you a true color. A lot of times, if you go out there with an orange shirt under that bulb, it's going to look like it's a brown shirt. So a lot of times we get suspect information when it's a black male and he's wearing a red shirt. Well, we find it's a white dude wearing a green shirt because the color of the light bulbs changed what it looked like they were wearing. LED bulbs are so cost efficient now. Who pays for the street lights in the community?
CDD.
Is it through, so the CDD would be responsible for maybe changing them to LED?
Yeah, I would think that they would have.
It's like LED bulbs are 85% more cost efficient or so could that be something that suggested? Sure. If the board approves it and change them out, 10 a year or 20 a year, depending on the number of bulbs. LED bulbs a better spread of light. Some communities, and again, I have to go and double check out here. If you have just a bulb that's plainly visible to all eyes, that now you're doing this. I want that light down here. I could care less if that tree is lit up here because the bad guy's not hanging out in the tree. If you get light fixtures that shield the light down, that's where I want the light. So a lot of things can be done with just lighting. Not on the CDD thing, but at your own house. I've got coach lights outside of my garage, and I changed the switch where it knows when the clocks change back in a couple of weeks. It knows the moonrise, it knows the sunset time. Those lights with 2 LED bulbs in my coach lights probably cost me $10 a year to run, but it's brighter than daylight in my front yard because of those bulbs. That take that responsibility on yourself. Lighting is huge. You know, what you do at your house, if he doesn't, I'm gonna go hide out in the dark, your house is lit up, I'm gonna go hide out in the dark. You know, kind of thing. So lighting, that's part of that home survey. We can come out, you know, this is kind of a good time of year. I think about 5 or 6 o'clock after you get home from work. It's a little bit of daylight, so I can see what's going on. It's also starting to get dark. Now I can actually look at the lighting around the house. Well, so again, that's something we can do. But lighting, landscape, bushes, anything like that, can use crime.
Okay. I heard you just mentioned something about the community program for the patrolling.
Yeah, our volunteer services unit. So in the sheriff's office volunteer services unit, we have volunteer patrols, we have volunteer chaplains, and volunteer mounted posse. None of which are law enforcement officers. They're not sworn. They have no powers. Can't do traffic tickets. Can't do parking tickets. It's just extra eyes and ears. Our volunteer chaplains are ordained, have to be ordained for at least 5 years. But they go out and not just up to deputies. If we go to so many drownings and death scenes and things like that, some deputies occasionally we're human. You know, it's nice to have somebody to talk to. But in the effect of God forbid something happens at somebody's house, right? Even our chaplains are on call, and the deputies on scene call for one of our chaplains to come out and talk with the family member. And they're non-denominational, to offer, you know, support and services to help them through some of the things. Our volunteer, our mounted posse, they use their own horses, but they help us out at the county fair. If you've ever been out there, help with crowd control, they help with searches. Because they're up high on horses, they cover a lot more territory than the deputy on foot. So that, and then we have our volunteer patrol units. And the nearest one I have in the station in this area is up at where the cars park at Spring Lake Southern up by me road. And it's a older sheriff's car, it's got yellow lights on it, clearly says volunteer on it. We do a full vetting process if anyone's interested. We'll do body tech tests, drug screens, fingerprints, criminal history checks, all the same, pretty much the same thing that a deputy goes through to make sure that we have qualified candidates. After some training out here, volunteers, you can go get the car and you will drive the community yourself.
Are they stationed here?
I've only got so many cars, they're a little expensive. So that's the nearest car that I have right now. It's got to be kept in a secure area. He's got to be kept up and blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of criteria. Right now, that's where my car is. Not saying that car can't be moved. You're not saying we can't get another car.
Can we get volunteers within our own community to do this, providing our insurance and everything covers it?
If it's within the CDD rules and everyone agrees with it, yes. We do a full vetting process and that if you do 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week, anything like that, that's more time and eyes and ears out on the road to help the community, not just for the kids running around, driving around the streets. You know, if you are a volunteer patrol, you know this community better than probably the deputies that are coming in here. You know what belongs, you know what looks right, doesn't look right. So that's an option. And if anyone's interested, on our sheriff's office website, on the main screen, there's a tab that says "Join Us." Underneath there, it's a deputy application. There's a volunteer application on it. It comes right to my computer, and I start background checks. So it's the total process is at least a month and a half of background checks. You know, we're doing tons and tons of work to make sure we get qualified, even as a volunteer. But yeah, that's an option as well. You know, again, I don't care if you want to patrol in this neighborhood or if you want to go patrol other neighborhoods around the community. Whatever we work, we welcome any other volunteers to come in and help out. Because as a whole, yeah, you're helping out not just your community, but the county altogether. And we also use our volunteers for some of the food giveaways at the different churches, at the community events. We ask volunteers, hey, anybody want to come on out and help out? So it's not just patrolling, it's helping out in other parts of the community as well.
And don't worry, I will post the link. I already applied for it. I'm just missing the the background checks. Yeah. So it's easy application. Now, the process of the background is what it takes time, fingerprints and, just to make sure good to go, but I gotta post it on the website. No, well, the car is gonna be the one that he's mentioned. We cannot get a different car. It has to be from the police department. Yeah.
Now, the thing with our voucher, while you're not getting paid to do it, while you're actively engaged in doing the volunteer patrol, if something would happen, get hurt, whatever, you're covered under the sheriff's office workers' comp. So if that's, kind of back in somebody's mind, that there is something in place to help out with something.
If you have a carry permit, are we allowed to
No.
carry?
No.
No guns, no.
You must be from New York.
And I'm not gonna things, but in this particular area, we're playing no headache, and you're being critical of the person that did something go wrong. We're not gonna tolerate any sort of citizen. So,
Another
fire gone.
neighborhood watch, another is.
So we try to keep that up. The one that I did terminate was turning on the flashing lights and trying to intimidate neighbors who don't, going low. Not that, doing that, that's, no, not with that, and gone, so I won't tolerate that, I will tolerate, you signed an agreement, I will not carry your gun. You'll be gone before. And charges could be put up on you for impersonation if somebody wants to do something like that, so we're not gonna tolerate that, it's strictly eyes and ears.
Well, that's why I asked the question, just curious.
Yeah, now we would make that very, very clear. And we can do all words, we say it again and again throughout the whole license process. We would make sure very, very clear that we're not giving people a green light to go and do silly stuff.
All right.
So.
Anybody has any quick questions?
Yeah, any question, anything that's outside of this safety thing, I saw a traffic light, or anything like that, I can answer this, but any question, if not, I can fix my way.
Kids playing on the street.
Kids, what on the street?
Playing
Playing on the street.
We have.
It's not the safest place, you have plenty of park area here with the kids.
We have two basketball. They have been there for more than 2 weeks. Right now, there were like 8 kids in there, so whenever we go, it's back and forth, we have stuff in 10 minutes. I don't think that's safe.
It's not safe. Did anybody else play on the street as a kid? I certainly did.
You know, we don't.
No, now let me ask you a question. Would you rather have the kids playing basketball here or doing something stupid someplace else? I'd rather have them playing basketball. As long as it's respectful, if anybody's parents or anything like that, tell the kids to be respectful to those in the community. If you're coming down the road, obviously they can't dribble a basketball on the grass, but if they're in the street, I'd rather have them there. I'd rather have my kid playing in front of my house than over the rat.
But to answer that also, that's against the HOA rules. So, yeah, that's management will take care of that. Yeah. No, yeah, the kids, yeah, they hide behind cars. You cannot see them. They jump,
It's
so.
definitely not a state thing. Certain streets, talking about in cities where you have limited vehicles, depending where they are here, there's a lot of vehicles. So it's definitely not a safe thing. Is it a bad thing? As long as they're aware of their surroundings and they move out of the way and they see cars coming, I'd be happy if my kid was there rather than running around doing stupid things elsewhere. So I mean, it's kind of a give and take. Anybody else?
Thank you very much, Deputy.
No.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, and again, I'm happy to come out. Anna's got my information, Herman's got my information. If he wants to come out next meeting, every other month, anything like that, if it comes up, I'm happy to come out. If anyone is interested in a residential survey or a business survey, the number is 348-1190. That's the community services office number.
348?
348-1190. It's a 407 every. So yeah, if you want that, it's free. It takes maybe 20 minutes to walk around your house and talk to you. We'll offer some recommendations and help out. So like I said, safety is everyone's responsibility. Yeah, you're limited, I'm limited, but between everybody working together, we can make a safe community. It's not hard, but it takes dedication on everybody's part. Anything else before I get out of here? I know you got a meeting to get to. So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Let me know if you need anything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All righty, let's move right along. Quick community progress update. We're approaching our 100th day. Sunday will be 100 days on this board. We've tried to accomplish as much as we can within that time frame. It's been challenging. I can't say it's been easy. Lots of obstacles in the way, but we're doing the best we can, and we're not gonna let anything slow us down. As you guys have already noticed, new landscaping company has hit the ground. There is issues that are gonna happen and things are gonna break and things gotta be, but they've been doing a good job responding to our homeowners and addressing their concerns. You know, and we always recommend with landscaping, always go through the work order process, get that on their sheet as soon as possible. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then reach out to management or us about it, and we'll try to help you resolve it. We're in the process of finishing up this month with Infomark. And we'll be starting with Artemis November 1st. You know, we're very excited about it. They're excited about it. We're hoping that, you know, it'll give the homeowners a different experience that they've had in the last couple of years. I'm going to talk more about transition issues later on. I just want to give a quick brief, and we're still working on getting all the landscaping cleaned up in the community, brought up to par where it should be. There's still a lot of work to be done. Sprinkler systems, you guys got your first sprinkler system report with regards to any
Sure, that's fine.
with regards to any repairs or things that are malfunctioning with your sprinkler system. In the single family homes, we only do the inspection. The HOA doesn't cover any repairs. It'll be up to the homeowner to find who they want to repair their sprinkler system. If they want blade runners to do it, there's a work order process for that, just to go ahead and ask them to do it. And they will quote you a price for that before the work is done. With regard to what else you want to update them on?
Well, like what he mentioned on the website, it's a work order especially only for landscaping. So make sure you find the help area and landscaping work order, so then you get the proper, you know, person to contact you.
So yeah, so to make it easier and to save time, before everything was requested from management, you had to wait till they respond. And then all they do is send your request to the vendor. Then the vendor has time to respond, and all that just takes time. Our system through that work order goes directly to the vendor. The vendor picks it up, but there's a timestamp and everything that you did it and that it was sent out. So the vendor's clock is ticking to get it resolved. And that's what we want. We want accountability. We want that the vendor doesn't say, well, I never heard about that, because they get timestamped on our end and they receive it and they have to act on it. And if it doesn't get resolved, then we want to know from the homeowners the problems they're having.
What if something like trees, community was first started 15, 18 years ago, you know, the tree 3 feet away from the house was cool because it's a sapling.
Are you talking townhome or single family home?
Single family.
Uh-huh.
But now that it's, you know, 15, 17 years later.
The tree's 2
it's
feet
a
to your house.
full tree, and, you know, everything's growing up right next to the house. So that, I don't know if that would be put in a work order because it needs to be trimmed. It's
So-
almost a work order like, hey, cut down and we need to move the tree further away from the house.
So the HOA contract covers trimming of all trees up to 12 feet. Anything above 12 feet is homeowner expense. If you're talking moving a tree, that's homeowner expense. So so if you want to take the tree down, ARC request, ask them to take the tree down. And we will be, I know this hasn't happened in the past, but we will be requesting that the homeowner that takes down a tree, puts down a tree that doesn't have invasive roots to replace it. Because we don't want to see it. We don't want to see all the vegetation just disappear. I mean, the last year, I think because of COVID, I think everybody decided to take down the trees. A lot of trees have left the neighborhood, but yeah, that would be the process to take the tree down, just to put a ARC request. That's also on the website, and they should get a response within 30 days at the latest. Did you do it through the website or through the new website? Okay, do it through the new website. I'm sure you have a different experience. Yes, sir.
And we're told by the rules or whatever, we're gonna get down. If you take down a tree, you have to plant a tree.
Correct.
Maybe it's there. That true or not? I mean,
I
that's
haven't,
what they said.
I don't- I have not seen an HOA rule that says that. I know the county might have a loose rule about that, but
They had one, but I don't think they had one.
they had one before.
They had one, that's why we had a
Yeah.
Christmas tree, a fir tree in our front yard.
Mhm.
We let it put down, ocean and died,
Mhm.
and we replaced it. But,
No, vegetation,
I'm consistent with that, but
trees are good for our environment, you
It's
know?
good, it's good. All I'm saying is this was a year and a half ago, so if we had a year and a half, we did have a year and a half ago, because.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that further, because I really don't know, Jack.
I was curious.
Yeah, but for now, what he mentioned, if you're gonna remove something, they submit the ARB and plan a new one, you know.
Yeah, and the ARC will respond to you that way, that they approve the removal of the tree with the condition that you put another tree in. Okay? It could be a palm tree, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. When I say non-invasive, I'm talking any tree that doesn't have invasive roots.
I put a fruit tree in mine, I had removed mine too.
Yeah, what, a big oak tree, yeah, so I was just telling them,
Fruit tree.
a fruit tree? Yeah, I was just telling them, that's homeowner responsibility, but you need an ARC request to get permission to remove it. You can do that through the website. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else you guys want to add?
Marcelo? Anything?
Okay, so that's
No, I'm fine.
okay. Okay, now, yes, sir.
Can we ask the guys that do the lawn to
Sure.
wash their team before they start grass here?
What do you mean by washing the thing?
Wash up their team that they drive, because they just carrying them all the stuff. My grass used to be immaculate, now it's all stuff like.
It's got seeds from the grass that
Seed-
gets cut.
seed
from
from
the
everywhere,
neighborhood.
and the-
So what? So you are doing your own grass?
No,
No, he's saying that blade runners should clean their equipment before they cut his grass, because his grass used to be nice. He thinks they're bringing seeds and stuff from other grasses, weeds.
before they come in the community, start cutting in this community, they should wash their equipment.
Okay.
We'll talk to him about it. We have a meeting with them tomorrow, so yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll see what we can do. Okay? All right, I want to move right along then. Old business. We have two board member seats that are still open. We had requested people to volunteer. We've gotten just a few, but you know, at least we are able to work out the kinks and try to figure out who would be the best fit for our goals as a group, because I know that everyone just wants this drastic change that needs to come about, and that can only happen if we have people that share the same vision on our team here. With that in mind, you know, I think if somebody wants to make a motion for the appointment of the candidate that's here today, I could just say something quickly about him. Jose Sanchez Garcia, if you can stand, just so people acknowledge you. He has been a member of our community for several years. He has been a CDD supervisor in the past. He really, really loves this community. He's a servant of the public. He's been a sheriff. He's been Homeland Security. He's done all kinds of public service jobs. So I think he has a lot of experience that we need, that we lack on our board right now with regards to giving us some guidance with getting things done and getting support from our Osceola County officials as well. You know, I'd like to nominate Jose for one of the open seats today. If somebody else wants to make a motion to second it, and
Yeah, make a motion, I gotta mention this, Dr. Jose Sanchez.
All right, so wait, we're gonna do a motion by Mario to appoint Jose, and you're gonna second.
Yeah.
so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so it's unanimous. Mr. Sanchez, would you like to take your seat? Sanchez Garcia, sorry. Well, and I just want to say that there's still another seat. If you're still in time to submit your bios, if you're interested in the other seat, we do have a couple of candidates we're considering, but we haven't made a decision on the last seat yet. So just keep that in mind.
I mentioned that the election next year. The election next year.
Yeah, so all the appointed candidates, we'll wind up, two of the seats of the appointed candidates will be up for election next year. So, we want eventually this board to be a fully elected board. We don't like appointing people and keeping them here forever. So, the two seats that will be appointed this year, two of the seats that are appointed this year will be for election next year, and then the other two seats will be the following year. So this way, hopefully we can get within 2 years to a fully elected board. Okay, so we'll move right along. Manager's report. Everyone had the opportunity to review the manager's report.
Yes.
Any questions about the management report?
Myself, no.
No? Okay. Is there anything anybody wants to say about it?
Well, what we've seen, just expenses, the legal expenses. It's the most that I've been seeing in here.
Yeah, no, it's not important to do that now, but okay.
Yeah.
So what about the minutes for the October 2nd meeting? Everyone had an opportunity to read those. Any corrections or omissions noted? No? All right, somebody wants to make a motion to approve the minutes as they stand
I made a motion for the minutes.
of October 2nd. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, anybody against, say nay. Okay, motion passes, minutes are accepted as they stand. Financials. So I think we've all been hearing a lot about financials lately. I think we all had a chance to review them. We're going to accept them as they stand. I know there's been a lot of commotion about collections not being collected and a lot of things that we're forgiving people and not paying or anything like that. That's not happening on our clock. I just want to make that for the record. Everyone that owes money will be collected, that legally owes money will be collected. There has been obstacles, like I said, in the process of this transition. We haven't had the support of management to get this collected in a timely fashion, and as well as the legal counsel from the previous board has also been kind of sluggish, but we're getting there. We've had meetings, we're trying to get it done, so we expect that to improve over the next couple of months. That being said, we accept the financials as they stand. Motion?
Yeah, I made the motion for the financials.
Anybody second the motion?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right. All right, financials are accepted as they stand. Legal counsel report. Want to give us a quick gist of the legalities of the HOA?
Sure, so I guess it was August. So I missed the last meeting because I was in Tallahassee with the National Guard, so I apologize for not being here. But since the August meeting, we had a chance to speak with Frazier. All of the homeowner accounts, all the homeowner collection accounts that Frazier had, they're closed out. The ledgers have been closed out. Greg just sent me updated ledgers this afternoon from all of those accounts. So the homeowners that were like pre-litigation or open litigation with Frazier, he's done with them. So they're all being moved over to me now. We had two cases that were in active litigation that we were able to reach out to the homeowners and come to an arrangement to work it out so that we could avoid litigation on it. So we actually have two settlement agreements that we're just waiting on paperwork to be signed, but we expect that that's going to be finished. The rest of the accounts were all pre-litigation. And so the intent is through the transition into Artemis, make sure that our ledgers, whatever Greg has in his ledger matches what Infomark has on theirs, which matches what Artemis now is going to have rolling into the new management cycle. Once we know that the numbers are good, I'll be contacting the rest of those homeowners to get them on a payment plan or something to get them caught up. So that's the intent with all those files that we're taking back from Frazier. So If the accounts receivable numbers look like they're a little high for the next month or so, that's why. That's the process we're working through. So we're aware that those monies need to be collected, but we're trying not to push people into court to have to collect them, so. The cable case, still outstanding. We had an opportunity to meet with Greg about that, and we had a motion to dismiss that we had to argue with the cable company. You guys familiar with what's going on with the cable company, right? We had a contract with it's an intermediary company, but it was controlled by the developer to provide mass cable services to the whole community. Well, that contract takes up like half of our annual budget. So the previous board was looking into to moving that through a litigation process, trying to have the contract declared unreasonable, because there's a statute that addresses this, like if it's a carryover from the developer, it has to be reasonable. And so we were fighting that, saying like, no, you can't have a contract in place that's half our annual budget and say that's reasonable. So we had a motion to dismiss that was outstanding on that, which we won. They were trying to have our case dismissed, and the judge was like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to allow the case to move forward. Shortly after that hearing, the parties reached out to the board directly and are interested in trying to do a settlement conference to see if we can come to terms. So we're working on putting that together right now to see if we can, negotiate our way out of it. Court case is still open. I don't know that there's anything that's on the docket that's coming up in the next few weeks or months. But anyway, so that's kind of where we are with that. So hopefully we can come to a deal, try to reduce some of our costs over the next 5 or 6 years. And if not, then the court case is still outstanding, and we can decide whether or not it's still worth making the investment to push that through to conclusion, because it's going to get a lot more expensive, and there's no guarantee we win. And if we lose, not only do we got to pay our lawyers' fees, but we got to pay theirs too. So there's a lot of money that's going to be on the table with this thing. But we're spending $500,000 a year on this over the next 6 years, 7 years. I mean, you're talking millions of dollars in this contract over the next half a decade. So there's a fair amount of money on the table that may be worth pushing it through to judgment on this case. But I don't know, maybe we'll look out and rather than risk them losing a whole contract, they'll negotiate with us and get a better deal. So anyway, so that's the intent, that's the idea, that's where we'll stand with that right now.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah, sure.
What are you trying to say? You either gonna raise our rates in our HOA, or are you trying to get the company to go down?
We're trying to get it to go down, yeah. We're trying to get it to go down, because right now, I think they're quoting us at like $60 a house or something.
No, right now, 80.
83.
$80 a house for services every month, and we found comparable service
At
that's coming
60.
around $60 a
Yeah.
month. So that, that would be a substantial savings. You multiply that over the community over 5 years. Right, it adds up. So you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that could be in play. So, and every little bit of that we manage to save, we can divert into other things like maybe upgrading our landscaping or whatever it is you also have to do with it. So.
And that's our goal from the beginning, is we feel we pay a lot. We're homeowners too, and we feel we pay a lot, and we should be able to have more for what we pay. But this is one of the biggest things that's over the budget that is making it hard to do anything else.
But what's going on right now, if you want that, you have to move fast on it, because things gonna go up. So if you want that to get that done, you can't sit back, you have to go move on it.
You're right.
Because everything is.
You're right, correct. Agree. And we're doing it as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm a little confused on this, because I thought that it was the cable, the internet was all covered under our HOA, and so it was all covered.
Yeah.
It was all spectrum.
Yes, they are.
What's the additional company that we're still paying?
So,
You're paying a middleman to get the same package that you would get if you went right to Spectrum.
So
you're paying a
original.
middleman at an inflated price, and that's the part that we're trying to negotiate. That's the simple answer, is we're not going directly to Spectrum to get a bulk package to the neighbor. We're going through an intermediary company who's then quoting us for the service that Spectrum is then providing to us, and it's that middleman that's inflating the price. Right.
Now, let
So-
me ask you this.
I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you were here long, way back when Villa Sol Broadband was here. So they provided the cable first, and then Bright House came in, but Villa Sol Broadband is the middleman, has been always. So at the turnover of the community, on 2018, they supposed to cancel that contract, but they did not. The board did not, so that contract became abolished, ratified on this community. So now the only way is to fight it in court. So, but we paying a middleman, over almost 100 and something thousand extra a year.
I was gonna say, Christopher, I'm very familiar with this. I've seen it up until 100 days ago. And anybody that has a question, anytime, ask me. Because I'm familiar with what they're talking about. I know exactly what they're looking at, exactly what the complications they have. And I'm more than, it's part of what I told them from the very beginning, that I'm here to help. And I have information, I have knowledge, and you can have it. It's yours. I'll help you. If you don't understand what's going on, I'll tell you what it is, best of my knowledge.
Yeah. So the interesting part is before the hearing, before the motion to dismiss hearing, we sent them an offer to try to settle it out. They told us to go pound sand. Then as soon as the hearing was over, which we won, all of a sudden they're calling us. So, well, we'll see.
It's very typical of how they behave.
Yeah.
Because,
You will know that, you'll see.
so at least so you guys know, in this community, the more or less that we should be paying is around $60 to $70 per house. That's the normal rate. And then every year, obviously, they're gonna have a raise because, the economy goes up but it's nothing like $82 a month. That's, crazy. So,
On top of that, usually when it's a single entity, that's a rate. But when you get by contract, they should come down. They should, yeah.
You're right. You have anything else, Tad?
No, those are the highlights.
Okay, we'll move on to the new business then. Property management, as I kind of partially said already, Artemis starts November 1st. I know all of you have probably received a letter in the last few days, and if you haven't, you will. I think there's been a little misunderstanding on the intent of the letter. The intent of the letter is just to be a welcome letter, letting you know that they're taking over as of November 1st. They're trying to get everybody to transition their payments to them. I know that some of you have prepaid ahead, and that's okay. If you already prepaid, you don't have to worry about the transition. That money will come, and it'll be transferred by Infomark to Artemis. However, there's some people that also write checks. They don't do electronic payments. That's what the coupons are for. The coupon for November and December were included in the letter, just in case you want to send a check, you have the option to do that. But the most important thing is that the letter is indicating is that you have to wait for an email that will be sent to you. If you have an email on file, if not, I'm sure they're going to reach you over the phone to let you know the credentials that you need to start setting up your account so that you can do online payments and have access to the portal. And that will come in the next couple of days.
yeah, and what he mentioned, so on that letter, you're gonna receive a form where you're gonna put your name, email, everybody that is on the title of the house. As soon as you email that letter to them, then they're gonna send you an email back with the payment link. Yeah. Yeah, that one right there.
Are we hoping that Artemis is going to give better service than Infomark?
Am I hoping?
Or is it more money?
No, it's actually half the cost.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that speaks a lot for that, right?
is it going to be half the cost and half the service?
I hope not.
As of now,
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah, ask again in 6 months.
Our experience with Infomark in the last 100 days has been very bad. I mean, we don't have a manager since August 10th. And, I'm talking to some person in Texas who only gives me whatever I ask for.
And that's another reason, is Artemis more?
Excuse me?
company?
Yes.
So they're calling Texas and you're.
No, they're here in 192
Okay.
and Fortune Road. you can walk in there any day if you have anything you want to do in person. So they're local. They also have a lot of support staff. They have a customer service department. So I think they're gonna give better service. I can't guarantee it because we don't know. Time will tell. Yes, go ahead.
I thought we previously had Artemis on, I just thought, why are we switching back to Artemis? Like, what's wrong with?
Great question. What's wrong with that? That was the better question.
I believe there's a reason you have Artemis, so.
Okay, I don't want to touch on negativity, but I will because people need to know. So Artemis is a merger between Titan Management and a company called Aegis. So the two owners bought in together to form Artemis Lifestyles. Artemis Lifestyles it's in infancy with us. They only took care of us for about a year or two before they get cut. I can tell you what I believe. I have emails and stuff from management, from attorneys and all this, and we took that into consideration because we looked at what, 6 or 7 management companies, and to be honest with you, all of them were kind of like in the same price range, which is about half of what Infomark charges, and Artemis was the one that to us as a group looked like they were the most organized and the most willing to hit the ground and resolve most of our problems. Now, my understanding, and of course, there's 2 sides to every story, but I've seen emails too that show this. My understanding is that when Frazier and Bowles came into our community, they came in here very aggressively, trying to sue everybody in sight, and Artemis put the clench on that and said, no, we're contracted to do collections. We will do the initial part of the collection. When it gets to the attorney, that's when we'll send you the collections. And Frazier and Bowles didn't like that. I call it hoodwinked because I feel that the board members, most of the board members did not conscientiously perceive that at the time that it was done. But there was a lot of behind the scenes communications, forcing Artemis to cut off everything and send the money to them right away. And it got to the point that 2 board members took it upon themselves to reach out to the bank and ask them to transfer the money now, and the money got frozen. And then they're blaming Artemis for holding on to the money and trying to steal the money because that's what the attorney told them. But the money was frozen because board members reached out to the bank directly asking them to transfer money, and it just sounded like it was fraud. So the bank put a freeze on the money until they could clear up the issue, which was cleared up within a month that they received the money.
And their letters,
And we'll make some of that available to you guys. Whoever wants to do a record search, we'll be happy to provide that information. But anyway, that's the gist of why they left. I don't think they did anything wrong, but they were accused of doing wrong because of what was trying to happen. There was a power struggle between attorneys and them and Infomark.
And then you don't need to worry about it. If it doesn't work, they give us 60 days.
Yeah, we have a 60-day cancellation clause. If we get complaints from the people and you guys don't want them, we'll go to the next company.
What exactly are we going to see basically after November 1st that we can see?
On November 10th, you're gonna see them here.
So they'll be here on November 10th for a meet and greet. If anybody wants to come talk to them and
sign up
for their portal, they'll be here on site to do that. What you're gonna see primarily is more transparency. You're gonna have your records available to you at all the time. They have, besides us having our website that the HOA owns, which we will continue updating, they have their own website where they have all the latest and greatest up-to-date stuff that will be available to the homeowners, rules, regulations. If you owe money, anything visual that you need will be available electronically for you in real time. You don't have to call anybody. Secondly is if you are the type of person that you want that personal touch where you want to call somebody, talk to somebody, they have a 2-minute response time on their phone. You call customer service within 2 minutes, you're going to get a live body on the phone talking to you about what issues you want to talk to them about. And they have access to the entire database where they can tell you how much you owe. They can tell you when was the last time you made a payment. They can tell you, what the documents, if you have ARC approvals, what stage your ARC requested, all those things customer service can handle. So and then they have an accounting department that if you don't get your issue resolved there, the accounting department will kick in and help you with the financial aspect of it. They also have, they like creating community events. So you're gonna see more community events in the community that are sponsored and organized by the HOA management company. What else, guys?
Well, the main thing here is like when you need something, huh?
Yeah, they're under new management.
Yeah, new management.
They have
New CEO.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're under new management.
Because that was the beginning.
Like I said, they had just started.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they going to charge us to clear checks too? I'm money and.
So, good question. They do charge if you use a credit card or debit card.
Like any other
That's the
management.
process. I think it's like $5 or something. But if you pay by check, like a
ACH.
written check or an electronic check, what they call ACH, you'll have that option on the website. If you pay with that, then that's like a direct transfer, like kind of like a Zelle transfer, but it's directly through them, and there's no charge for that. So-
Portion not different from the other one.
So, and the other issue.
No, I know, I heard a lot of complaints that with Infomart, they charge $5 in there and there every time they make payments.
It's every time, but if you make one big payment, it's
Yeah.
just one payment, that's one payment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
If you make $1,000.
So-
and then now you can go to their office right there, down the corner. 192, if you have any issue.
So based on all the companies we looked at, we narrowed it down to 4 that we were willing to do. And we presented it here at a meeting, and, that was the outcome. We did a survey also through the website, and a lot of people voted, and everyone agreed that Artemis should be the company based on the data that we have. That's excluding their past.
Yeah, you did a survey, which I applaud you for. I think that was a good thing to do. But you gotta keep in mind, what was it? It was not a unanimous thing, because I certainly know it wasn't, because I didn't vote.
No, we read we read,
About the firing?
no, we read the survey. He's mentioned the survey. Yeah, we read the survey.
No, I didn't say everybody voted. Did I use the word everybody? My apologies.
Most.
Majority apparently did, that's fine.
Most people did. I know Mr. Gagnon here didn't vote either, right? Oh, you did? Oh, no, the landscaping you did, right? Sorry.
The point of it is I'm familiar with what you're talking about when they first started. And unfortunately, from my viewpoint, there was a lingering aura, because the Titan people really did do some speedy things. And so that left a bad taste in my mouth. That's what caused me to speak out when we had a meeting, which I did not really want to pull the lady down. And if we're gonna have a meet and greet, she's gonna, I hope she's here.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk.
Yeah. And then it's like I asked you.
I couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
But apparently, they are a different group of people than what they are. And everybody changes.
I agree.
5 years, everybody changes.
And it's like I always advise to everybody, don't believe no one. Just you yourself go to the source. It's like I told you, Mark, because everything that you told us, it was on the, between one person and a third party. It wasn't from the source. So it's always, to go to the source, and like anyone here have any issue, go straight to the person that you have that problem with. Don't believe your next door neighbor or something like that.
When she was here, she said they have all new staff, right? Like everybody
Yeah,
was there.
the management is all new
Was
and all the
fired.
staff is new.
Like they got completely fired all those people. They got brand new people.
Yeah.
So we might have to.
I don't think.
Well,
they're
like I
doing
said, guys, there's a 60-day cancellation clause.
They did the smart thing. They did the smart thing. You have a 60-day out.
Yeah.
so-
And that's what we push, the only company giving us that.
They were the only ones that would give us that, because all the other companies, it's a 12-month contract, and you have to cancel within 60 days of the last day, or you renew automatically and keep going.
Yeah, I made sure we put that in there. I don't like long-term contracts.
So we'll see.
Maybe
I'm optimistic. Hopefully, they'll change your guys' minds too, that I've
Yeah.
had bad experiences in the past. But also, I know somebody approached me earlier today about I send my payment to Infomart. What do I do? Don't panic. The letter's just to instruct you what the appropriate thing is to do. If you already paid Infomart, don't worry, the money's gonna come.
Yeah.
Might take a little longer, but it will come.
Actually, they sent me 2 homeowners payments. They forwarded me.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, so.
Because they were one of the ones that Greg had, when
Yeah.
he closed out the accounts.
Oh.
They were like, oh.
Yeah.
And
But
it
don't
was
worry,
all-
everything is,
Make sure I.
So the money will come. We're not pursuing anybody for late payments for the first 60 days because we know that there's a transition. So if you pay a little late, it's okay. As long as you do it. By January, I think everybody should be on board and the new coupons will have been out. And then everyone should know exactly what they need to do. Okay?
Can we just recap a couple of things
Yeah.
before we close this up? Take questions first up.
Yeah.
So if we don't get the letter, we can still pay Infomart, correct?
You can. Or you can wait.
If I don't get the letter by November 1st, I usually.
You will, because the letters
Yeah.
went out already. They should arrive in the next day or so. You should have it by the week.
Did they say they were transferring the bank accounts on November 1?
No, I know they opened up new bank accounts, but I don't think all the funds will be transferred.
because they're gonna be an
So
overlap.
they're doing, okay.
They
Yeah.
said that the process is that normally Infomark should give them like a certain amount of funds to operate for at least 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Because they
finish up the
gotta do
process.
their end financials. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
You pay automatically, it comes every month.
You
Yeah.
should
So
cancel.
I would cancel
You're gonna
that.
discontinue that?
Yeah.
Correct. That's what I would do, yeah.
We have to do that.
Yes. You should get that letter.
So just a couple of things for everyone to kind of understand. And if you paid Infomark, or if you have that auto draft and you already went, or maybe you do your due diligence and give it extra time, you write a check like I do, right? And you sent it to Infomark, no worries, no harm, no foul, right?
Right there.
That's fine. That money will get to where it needs to go. If you have auto payments, this is a time where you would want to start setting stuff up and looking for that information coming from Artemis. So, so far, you would have seen an email. If we have your email and your email was on record with Infomark and get pulled over to Artemis, if that information you got an email when they went out yesterday-ish. If you didn't get it, it could be in your spam. So look in your spam folder. I know some people have said that it's gone there. But also recognize that this transfer process was manual. There was no just zap and all your files went over. Infomark printed a list of all of your contact information and said to Artemis, here, have fun. And their team manually inputted this into their system. So there could be human error in terms of your contact information, which is why on November 10th, their customer service team is going to be out here with us. They're going to have a welcome hoorah, whatever you want to call it, and they will assist you in making sure your records are up to date, getting you signed in, logged in, whatever it is that you need assistance with. Their customer service team will be here in person. We hear there's some fun stuff coming as well. They're still kind of bringing everything together for the customer service side in terms of other things. I don't know, maybe about a food truck, who knows? But like we said, their team is working on something engaging for our community. If you haven't paid, maybe as of November 1st, you can go in and you can start setting everything up. Again, as we've said before, you can call them. I know a couple of homeowners who have said they've already tried to call, make sure their records are updated. They've started that process. And that Artemis has said November 1st is that key date where the light switch between companies happens. So again, we're working through that transition. Bear with us. As everything in a transition, it takes time. It takes effort on both sides to be able to get this done. But hopefully by the time that we're done, customer service has been here. We'll get everyone set up, get everything kind of transitioned, and we can hit the new year running. You'll also start seeing mail communications. I think a bunch of homeowners started seeing some of that today. In that mailing, again, is a generic, like, hey, this is who we are. If we didn't get you by email, we got you by snail mail. That included 2 coupons for November and December. If you want to pay that way, those are included in there. Again, we're trying to give you every option to keep yourself up to date as we transition, as well as contact information to kind of start getting into your accounts and setting things up with that. And then for those customers, or those homeowners who maybe we don't have full information for, their customer service team will start making outbound calls, which is part of the transition process, and we'll be calling those homeowners that they don't have information for, and start saying, hey, we're Artemis, we're taking over. We need to get some updated information from you so we can start getting you involved. So there's a lot of different channels that we're taking to try to get everyone on there. And as mentioned by Mario, we're hoping that by January 1st, right, we could kind of start 2023 with everything kind of moved over, everything put in place, and very ready to rock and roll with that. So we will continue to keep giving you this information. Everything that's been emailed, we're trying to put on all of our sites. Everything that we're getting from them, we get a preview of. So as we know that it's being sent out, we're trying to push it to you guys as well, so you have that information out there, and you can start doing your due diligence and getting everything kind of rolled over. And again, November 10th with that customer service welcome hoorah, and more to come on that. We'll give some details once they've fleshed out what they're doing. But as of November 1st, they're going to be your new contact. So we're going to.
Give me 1 second. I got somebody online that needs to come.
Yeah.
Robin Roberts, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're being acknowledged. Robin Roberts?
Unmute yourself.
I'm okay. You've answered the questions.
Okay, thank you, dear. Go ahead, sir.
Right.
Let's ask them if they have an office close by here.
Yeah, 192 and Fortune Road.
Same place?
Mhm.
Open that-
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they have 2 floors. That's how much they've grown.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
They have an office over there.
Yep. Yeah.
So keep looking out for all those communications. We're going to keep pumping you with information over the next couple of months, and making sure that we get everyone transitioned over into Artemis system. But bear with us, it'll be a little, right? And also one last suggestion is as we start closing out Infomart, you may want to take a snapshot of those accounts, just so you have it in the event. Not saying that anything is going to happen, but kind of having that proof there will make things a little bit easier if something weird was to happen as the transition, flows through.
Okay. Well, good.
So that's 2 questions.
So all the future money we might be saving, are we thinking like down the road of doing some things with the community?
We already are. So, we have a social committee that's planning events and we need volunteers. I mean, we have a trunk or treat planned for Monday. So we need volunteers. So, yeah,
And also November, possible, right? November 12th.
we're planning an event for November as well. So more to come.
Barbecue.
Yeah, we're all about getting to know the neighbors and socializing with them and get to know them on a personal level too, because over here it's just business, You get a snapshot of what we need to get done, but yeah, so that's coming, sure. Let's move on to the next topic, townhomes. This is my pride and joy. I don't even own a townhome here, but I feel that the townhomes in our community have gotten the short end of the stick in any of the management companies or any of the developer, the previous HOA board, everybody they're not being given what they deserve. And that's one thing that we hope to change. So the first thing I want to mention is we got but a few people who inquired about storm damage with regards to the townhomes. And we need to clarify this because there's a lot of misinformation circulating social media. And if you look at, and I brought it here if anybody wants to review it.
I give it to Chris.
There's Amendment 3 of our documents clearly states that the HOA is responsible for doing an inspection of the exterior of every townhome building and every roof of every townhome building every single year. How many inspections do you guys think have been done on these buildings?
0.
0 exterior inspections and 1 roof inspection that occurred about a year ago. And I'm gonna make that available online as well, because the roof inspection is sad. It's not even by a roofer. It's by some handyman flying his drone all over the roofs. And all he did was circle the damages.
With a
Sliding
finger.
tiles, I'm like, which building is it? Like, where is it at? No information whatsoever. And we paid heavy penny for this, so. But you have my commitment. We're currently bidding different inspectors and roofing contractors to get these inspections done, hopefully at the beginning of the year. They have to be done before hurricane season starts again, for sure. And the documents also state that based on those inspections, we are responsible for repairing whatever comes of those inspections. So for those individuals that may have suffered storm damage, I would say I have recollection of about 3 people that contacted me, and a lot of it sounded more like it was wind, water intrusion. But you know, I tell people that if they have damage that they think HOA will cover, just to submit a work order to get it officially on paper, right? Don't email me, just submit the work order, and we will do whatever it needs to be done to make sure that we either take care of it or give you guidance on who should be taking care of it. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the government.
Excuse me?
Wouldn't if it's storm damage, wouldn't they go represent their insurance or the government?
I'm gonna cover that in a second. You're right, sir.
Townhomes are a little different than that. We pay a little more than the city of homes, and we're sharing a roof.
No, he's asking a different question though.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
So, and I've been looking through the documents, so all I need is you to, I'll look up the ones you just said, show me in our documents where it states that, okay, so there was a comment made regarding this that we should check into homeowners insurance.
Correct.
So I went and did that. So my homeowners insurance will cover my roof, which is great, right? So HOA decides not to, my insurance will, which means that I can hire someone to go into my section of my townhome and have them clean the roof, which has never been done.
100%.
Correct?
Yep.
So I can have that done, since.
You can.
You're saying, what we're saying here is that the roof is destroyed, the HOA can decline.
So,
No,
let me clarify. I know what you're saying.
I just want to know.
Okay, so the HOA is responsible for maintenance and repairs and replacement based on the life of the roof. Okay? We do the inspections every year. Whatever the inspections say is wrong gets fixed by the HOA. A storm comes by and pops your tiles out or does anything, that's your insurance that has to cover. Because most people in here are financed. And when you finance, your mortgage company demanded what they call an HO3 policy, which covers your roof and exterior in case of a perilous event. So
our roof was hit by lightning, not my house, 2 heads. So the last 2 units of the 4 were hit by lightning. HOA, the old HOA sent people through Infomark and everything, and they had it fixed. Would that be fixed if a townhome was hit by lightning? Would that be classified as an HOA situation to pay for the repair, or a personal situation?
right now, it should go through your insurance because it's an act of God. It's a perilous event. It should go through your insurance. Now,
And you should read this exactly.
yeah, let me read you the actual.
And I just want to know where I stand.
Yeah, so this is the 3rd Amendment, all right? It's a supplement to the covenants and conditions, right? And this was signed in November 29th of 2017, so it's not that old. Okay, and if you go there to number 8 on it, which is the second to last page, it says townhome inspections and repairs. It says all townhome units shall be inspected on an annual basis as to the structure, paint, stucco, gutters, roofs, and other exterior portions of the buildings for which the association is responsible. The association shall be responsible for all repairs determined to be needed by such inspections. Okay? That's all we're responsible for. Now, if you go to the original CC&Rs, I posted, I don't have them with me today, but I posted on the clause that says that the association has the option to insure your townhomes, but they don't have to. Okay? And the previous boards have elected not to. So when they elect not to, then the responsibility of insurance lies on the homeowner. Okay?
But we're looking
I'm fine with that. I just want to make it clear. not fighting with it here. All I want to do is understand.
Yep, correct.
As a town owner, where I stand.
So the clear cut thing is, we're gonna do the annual inspection starting in 2023, and only the things that come up on those inspections will be repaired by the HOA. Okay? And I know, we made the mistake too. We came in here, the previous board was repairing everybody's roofs. We found 5 roofs that were all leaking for months, and we did the right thing. We just fixed them because that was what was being done. But then now that we review all the documents in more detail, we realized that we didn't have to do that. But now it's done, okay? We move on. But, you know, the other thing is, what was it that you were highlighting me about?
The insurance.
Oh, so insurance, right? I'm all for insurance because we don't need a big hurricane to come through here and level 4 buildings, and then your insurance might not be enough to cover the entire building, right? Or maybe you're insured, but the 2 units next to you are not insured. That's liability for us. You understand? So we're looking into getting a master policy to cover the townhomes, but it's costly. From what we're hearing, it's costly. So we're gonna look at it, we're gonna present it to town homeowners, and we may have to set it to a vote and see how many of you guys are willing to pay that. Because also with the reserves being so low right now for you guys on roof replacements, paint and everything else, you guys are due for an increase. You know, we don't want to do that, but inevitably, you know, you're gonna have to get an increase to replenish reserves. And if we throw the insurance on top of that, the increase could be pretty great. So I think that's something that I think the majority of the homeowners, the town homeowners have to decide on that. And see if we get the support from the town homeowners that they want us to provide the insurance, we'll do it, but it'll come at a cost. Now, the offset of that is that if we provide the master policy to you guys at our cost, then you can downgrade your home insurance policy to a HO6 instead of an HO3, which is almost half the price. You understand? So you'll be saving money on your own policy because then now you only have to insure the inside.
Correct.
So those are things we're looking at just to give options. But at the end of the day, the townhomes will decide what they do. If they want to keep their own insurance or they want to get insured. Any other questions on that? The last thing I want to say about, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Question about the driveway. My driveway is cracking. Do we fix it? Well, I don't know, so I guess we don't fix that. So how do we get that?
So that's part of the exterior inspection. Let us get through the inspection. And
Next year.
if all that gets put on the report, all that will be repaired by the HOA.
Marcel.
I just want to make it clear. My house, townhouse, has been empty since May. And I just got back this weekend. I sent my daughter, she was driving by, said, check down my townhouse. And she took a picture, I got it on a water spot, not leaking, water spot. And I believe that Dr. Herman, and they did work order. Okay, I don't know when it happened, where it happened, okay? So I sent a work order, following the instruction from Herman, and within 2 days, call your insurance. That's it, call your insurance. I don't know when that water spot was getting, because the room was empty. Okay, they moved me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Calling me and my wife and my grandmother. Now, I just got back Sunday. You know, I haven't called the insurance, because I don't know like the gentleman said, like, what happened if they just bring something up there?
Yeah. No, we owe you at least an inspection. What do you know about this? Nothing?
Interiors aren't covered by HOA.
No, but he's implying that it could be a roof leak. Is what he's implying.
Yeah, roof leak.
Yeah, I told him to send a report, that's it.
I let it see me.
But he said somebody responded to put it through the insurance.
You need to call your insurance.
Was it after the storm? That might have been why you got that
I
answer.
believe she came, so the house was empty for that many months.
Yeah.
So she was stopping by, she went to town,
Yeah.
she stopped over here, and said, do an inspection in my house, because I was worried about it, you know?
You're one?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look into
That's
it.
a water spot, it's not a leak.
So, you know, with some townhomes, I don't know about yours specifically, but we have a particular problem in one townhome where the air conditioning handler is up in the attic. and their air conditioning, it has a check valve that's supposed to prevent the water from coming into the ceiling, but this particular lady's check valve is not working. It's in the bottom, okay. The top floor. So what I'll probably do, let me look into the specifics, because I'm not familiar. I didn't get anything on that. I imagine the property managers that responded to you. I'll look into it, and I think at the very least, we should just send somebody. Yeah, but in all fairness, I think we can get it inspected by a roofing company, and if it's, depending what it is, we could at least tell you what caused it. Yeah, why don't we just do that? All right.
Is there, we got, Marcelo.
Go ahead, Marcelo.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to say something that I think, Mario, you kind of talk about a little bit. I think when it comes to townhomes, we all agree that we might not be getting our fair share of, according to what we're paying, and that goes beyond roofs or insurance. It goes to every little thing or most things that we pay. So one of the things that we might have to do is get a meeting with town homeowners to understand what we want to go, what we want to do with our section, and how we want to manage our part of the money. And if we all decide that we want to insure our buildings, let's do it. But we need to get an agreement, because it's some of the things that covers townhomes, covers all of the units in one building. So we need to talk. We need to get to an agreement, and then we can move forward and propose something to the board and make sure that happens. Until we do that, we might still have all these issues, because as Mario said, we are not obliged to provide insurance to our townhomes, but we can. But the decision honestly needs to come from us, the townhome owners. We need to decide what we want to do with our property.
Yes.
Correct.
Angel.
Thank you, Marcelo.
And that would be a vote.
Anna?
Angel.
Angel, you're on.
Yes, hey, good evening. So in my situation, I bought a townhome. I'm the owner of 3140 via Otero Drive. And since I moved in, I did a vehicle inspection, and I also hired a company that did an inspection on everything. And right from the beginning, I've been requesting for the HOA, the previous management, to do a trimming of the trees around my property, and that's never been taken care of. That's never been handled by anyone in the HOA, the previous management. So my situation is during this past hurricane. If you guys can come and look at it, I think I submitted an email, and one of you guys responded. And the property suffered damage on the front of the building, and it was caused due to the lack of maintenance to the trees. So I went and submitted a request to my insurance, and unfortunately my hurricane deductible is close to $4,000. So I don't have that kind of money to pay for.
Yeah.
When I feel that that's the negligence of the HOA, the previous management, not taking care of those trees and doing the proper maintenance.
Angel, let me ask you, is this causing you, do you think this is urgent? It's causing you an issue with water intrusion or something that it needs to be addressed right away, or is this something that can wait?
I honestly haven't seen any water intrusion coming into the building. Again, it hasn't been raining much since the hurricane, so I can't tell much on that, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I think I'm the one you sent the email to, because the story sounds familiar. Let me review that, and we'll try to see if we could touch base with you either this week or next week. and see if we could at least come take a look at it. And, you know, but if it's not like an urgent thing that's causing you any issues right now, it's probably best to wait for the exterior inspection to be done, because it's probably going to be able to be fixed through the HOA that way. Now, if it's something that's more urgent, then we'd have to probably send somebody to inspect it sooner. So, yeah, let me touch base with you, okay?
Yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Your help. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me about that, because you're one of the ones of the three that I was talking about.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, anybody else?
Robert.
Robert Robbins? Or Robin Roberts?
Hello?
Right? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, can you hear me? You can
Loud
hear
and
me.
clear.
Great, thank you. I live at 3169 Via Otera. As of now, I haven't had any damage to the townhouse, but I was wondering, when are they going to come and trim the trees? Because it is hitting a lot of the bedrooms, and I don't want the idea of if it's really windy and it cracks the glass.
You're 100% sure, dear. That's my next item on the agenda.
Okay,
Okay, so you'll hear some about it in a minute.
okay. So do we have to submit work orders for this, or just be patient and just wait it out?
Right now, just be patient. It's going to be done in the next month or two.
Okay, great, thank you. You've answered the question. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. All right, is that all we got on that? Okay, let's move on then to the cleanup of the trees of the townhome. So, this is it right there.
Yeah.
So we had Blade Runners, this is like a while back, before they were even our official landscaper, kind of do an assessment of what needs to be done in terms of trees touching houses, blocking lights, intrusion into people's sewer systems. All this stuff is happening at the townhomes, believe it or not. Some of them have been bad, some of them have not been so bad lately, but we need to address it before it happens. So we got a couple bids, and you know, our palm trees, even in the single family homes, has not been trimmed in years. I mean, there's a whole to do with that still. But you know, for the townhomes, we're responsible for everything. So I think, you know, we would like to do a massive cleanup of all their palm trees, all their trees get trimmed. Everything gets kind of spruced up to try to get everything back to the way it should be. And then we could do the maintenance as we go along. The bill to do the entire cleanup for the townhome areas only, so I want to talk about townhome areas, is $9,700.50. I mean, $9,750, I'm sorry. And basically, they're estimating this on a flat rate of a daily flat rate of tree trimming and cleaning and removal of debris. Their estimate is going to take them 3 days to do that. And that's what the bill is about. So my understanding also from Blade Runners is that before when the CVD and the HOA had the same board members, that they were allowed to mulch up all the debris and spread it down in the back here by the clubhouse, and that they were allowed to do that. And I'm not sure if that's an option now, but that would save the HOA an enormous amount of money in debris removal, because that's the most expensive part of the tree trimming. So, you know, so that's something we need to look at.
So are you thinking that you're gonna table this to see if the CDD?
No, I don't think so. But it's the same. They say.
Well, no, this includes debris removal, right?
It's everything.
So, I mean, because what you can do is you can.
Yeah, this is already including the dump fees.
Yeah.
I'm just making the comment that if the CBD would agree to that, it could be less.
Okay, so are you thinking you're gonna vote up to that amount and then see if the CDD will sign off on us using the mulch?
Yes, I think that will be best, up to that amount.
Their next meeting is the first.
The first,
Tuesday,
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you could go make that ask of them and see if they'd be all right with that. How much would that save us, just out of curiosity?
That I don't know, I'd have to ask for that.
Yeah, because it depends how many trucks they have to take from here to the dump. And usually, I think it's $600 to $800 per.
Oh, so I mean, it could be a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
But if we can do it like they used to before, they used to do the trail but now it's no more trail in there, but the trail, and they used to put the
But
mulch in
CDBG
there.
is only a few days away, so I mean, if you authorize the expense and then it turns out we can reduce it, so you just do the motion to up to
Okay.
90/50, and if we can get it, if we can get them to take some of that off because we're able to use the mulch elsewhere, that'd be awesome.
So any comments from you guys on that?
You have that detail covered.
What about Ariel?
Yeah, we're good.
No good? Everybody's good? So,
Yeah,
all
I
right.
just want to clarify with this for the
Go for
homeowners and the townhomes.
Yes.
Right, that this is the oaks, maples, and magnolias. And so these are the hardwoods that are around. The, especially Via Otero, right, those trees are kind of in between the homes, right? These are those where.
Those are
Holly trees.
Yeah, that's a different.
That's a different tree, so would not include those trees between the doors. These are the bigger hardwood trees that we're talking about.
That was, I think, what that woman.
Yeah, so she was talking about the hollies, and the thing is this, so the hollies are, so we asked Blade Runners to try to trim one or two just to see what they look like trimmed, but the problem is the invasive roots. You understand? And they're saying that it's cheaper to remove the trees than to trim them because they've gotten so big. Because he says that they could just go down and just cut them off and grind and get rid of them. And maybe in the future, we can replace them with less invasive trees like a crepe myrtle or something along those lines that will get some pretty flowers at some point.
And that bill is.
You have that bill?
Yeah.
You have the bill on the hollies?
The 37.
I think it's like 3,200, it's $100 a tree. It's
Yeah, it's
32 trees.
$32.50 to remove those trees. That's the additional cost.
Does that say dump fee on it too?
No, this does not have a dump fee on it.
Do you know if that's included in that one?
I think so. That's another day of this. So
I-
it's another day of that.
I'm gonna say that if we do this, let's try to do it in kind of
steps, yeah.
steps, right? So, I think looking at the budget and where we are, I think we can afford this now, right? Let's try to take this step. We can always come back, look at those holly trees, as the year progresses next year. And kind of look at it that way and do this, in phases.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way we can spread some of that time, for things to grow and other, projects to be slipped in there. So, with that being said.
I agree with you 100%, but I'm also saying that these holly trees, the way they've grown and the way they were left to grow, are gonna cause the issue and a lot of problems with the exterior of the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're rubbing and destroying, so yes, hold off as in phases, but don't hold off too long because it's gonna end up costing the HOA more money to fix the exterior of the houses than taking out the trees.
But what if we do the hollies first? Because I mean, none of these trees are posing a immediate danger to anyone, but she was saying that some of those trees are hitting glass with the windows. And then we're talking breaking windows and.
Well, the only question on that would be is I don't know if this quote includes dump fees. It doesn't pull out like the first one says dump fees, we know what we're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna prove it on the basis that it includes dump fees,
Yeah,
and we're gonna clarify with him before we give him the A-OK. Is that fair?
How big those trees are?
They're about
They're
probably
taller than the
15
roof.
feet high, but they're like bushes, they grow out like sideways too, so.
It's because it's
It's kind of
been
the
2
trees that
years.
grow like this.
And you got to remember, if it goes up, the roots are going out.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get problems on those foundation
And that's what we're trying.
And that, we've already had that.
maybe it's the best thing to take them out.
Yeah, there's already been some issues with that.
So you could do, the same thing on that one, then you say, we approve it to a max of $3,000, whatever the number is. And then if it turns out that it's gonna be more expensive, you'd have to come back and get the new number approved. But if it comes in at the right number, then you can just be like, yeah, do the work.
Have you thought about, yes, approving the amounts, but then delay, do it like in phases? So you don't.
Well, so now on this ones, and I think on both of them, it can be breakdown on payment. We don't have to pay the whole amount at once. They can do the job in 3 or 4 days, but we don't have to pay everything at once. We can break it up in 4 payments.
We know how much of each one of those payments are gonna
Yeah, all divided in four.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
Well, I thought the bigger issue was, we don't know if that's gonna be the final number.
correct, on that one. Yeah, on this one, we know.
So on the one that you do the hardwoods, we know what we're getting into. The one with the hollies, we have a question on. It's not a matter of, right now, the money component.
Mm-hmm.
It's the what's more important component. Do we think that the holly trees are more important to protect the buildings, the
I think the holly
scratching,
trees are
whatever,
more
that,
important.
or is it more important to get the hardwoods trimmed, get that all kind of taken care
I mean, we're
of first?
again, less than 30 days, so, I mean, we just need to ask some more questions on this.
Yeah, we do on the
You're
17th.
talking about a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
we're not talking months, so.
True.
It might be worth
Yeah.
doing the extra legwork up front, make sure we're not gonna step in anything we don't wanna step in.
Yeah.
Listen, that's just my 2 cents, it's y'all's decision, just kind of chime in.
But so we can approve that amount if that includes.
And then get clarification.
Yeah.
And get an assessment, get to see, go to the locations and see how bad the problem is. And
We've done
Oh, no,
that.
we already done it. Yeah, already done it, yeah.
We walked the neighborhood.
So this one, the only thing we can do is approve that based on the dump fees are included.
That's what I would
If
say,
it's
as long as
not,
there's no
that's it.
additional dump fees.
You could approve that up to whatever dollar number you
Yeah.
want. I mean, if you're like, I don't know if this includes dump fees, I tell you what, we'll approve it to 4,500.
No.
And then it turns out-
No, I would
It has to
approve
be
it to
that
what
or
it is
less,
now.
yeah.
I'm just saying, you have that latitude to be able to authorize.
I'm
those
like
things.
90% sure that it includes dump fees, I just forgot to put them on paper.
And I have,
Because he would have told me, and I don't recall him having that.
And here, because it's the same
He
price
gave
as
us,
per day.
but it's kind of simultaneous.
I have the same feeling as well.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
But I would, that's my opinion, because I think, in my opinion, I think that that's urgent, like, I'd like to do that
So,
like,
yeah.
right away.
So let's do the motion.
And then this can go right behind it. I mean, like I said, I don't see the point of spreading everything, because it'll look better when it all happens quick.
Yeah,
If it's about money, we can spread the money across.
already the money can be spread out.
$3,000.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
is 97.
In total, it'd be like 12,000.
If you're gonna do that one, and then you're gonna, I mean, you guys have the budget to cover this.
We are divided.
So anyway, make a motion.
We can do a motion. How much it is, both of them in payment, so we can do a real motion.
We can calculate that later. Just say, make the motion to accept both bids, and break it down into 3 or 4
Okay.
payments, whatever you guys want.
I'm making a motion to accept both bids.
Go ahead, speak a little louder.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. No.
I make a motion to go ahead and approve both bids, with the,
Let's do it one at a time, just for note-taking purposes.
Okay.
Because I gotta write all this down.
I will make,
All right, give me 1 second. Go ahead, man.
Okay, if you don't want your holly tree removed because it's not going onto the foundation, then we keep it. My husband cut holly tree already, so it's not hitting the window.
Just as long as you sign a waiver that if anything happens to your townhome, we're not responsible.
By the time you go and all that, he just cut the branches that were hitting the window.
No, okay, but
But
like you said,
the main issue is not just the window. We have had sewer cleanouts, that the roots have gone into it. We have also some gutter drains, and eventually it's gonna get to the sidewalks.
Well, if they inspect where I live and it isn't, then we keep the tree.
As long as you don't hold the HOA liable if anything would happen.
with a form, then,
We can't piecemeal our obligation on which units we're maintaining or not. So if we've made the determination that the hollies are destroying the exterior of the building, we need to take care of it.
okay.
Right?
Even if she doesn't want it to, either?
Even if she doesn't want it, because it's our responsibility. We can't come back
Are you
later.
gonna replace it with something?
Yeah, with
Eventually, not right away though, eventually.
There'll be nothing there.
No, it's gonna be with a nice one, the ones that you see on the Otero, they got the little flowers, the nice one, the metal, yeah.
So I don't, and maybe a relocation, so
Yeah.
it's not up next to the house.
Yep.
I don't know, but I mean.
No, those trees are too big to relocate.
You know,
All right.
if it's causing damage to the exterior of the home, and we've decided that it's causing damage to the exterior of the home, we need to do something else with it.
okay, then my motion is that estimate 303, for $9,750.
That's $97.50, and that's for the hardwoods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's for the hardwoods, 3 days of work.
and that estimate 304. Or remove trees in front of townhomes,
So that first one was 9750, right?
9750.
Motion to approve.
And the motion for the second.
Hold on, we gotta vote on that first motion.
And then four payments, and then four payments.
Be approved in 4 payments.
Mhm.
And just, I'm requesting to have approved that estimate exactly based on the fact and the condition that it's gonna be done in 4 payments.
Anybody second the
I
motion?
second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So that was second by Herman?
Yep.
Second by Herman.
Marcelo?
I didn't hear Marcelo chime in.
Guys, I had a hard time hearing, so
It's the
I
mo-
hear that we're talking about the trees in front of the townhomes.
No, not right now. The motion is for $9,750 to spruce up all the oak trees, magnolias, all the big hard trees around the townhomes.
In 4 payments.
We're gonna do it in 4 payments. It's 3 days
And
to work.
okay, and that would also include the some trees in the back of the townhomes, right?
No, on the front.
No, everything's in the front.
Okay, because some of the trees in the backs are also causing damages in townhomes. Remember that,
Yeah,
right?
That's a
Okay,
different bid.
that's coming later.
Yes.
Okay,
Not
I'm sorry,
So
I'm
that-
asking these questions. I couldn't hear what you were saying, so I wanted to make sure that I understand what I was
you
going
voted,
for.
Marcelo?
Yeah,
He's in Argentina.
So Marcelo, are you good with that, or are you
Yeah.
gonna say? Okay,
Aye.
so that was unanimous, right?
Yes.
Now, are we gonna?
The same one, the same
The
thing.
second one, the 3,200.
All right, so
Okay, Marcelo, can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
All right, Marcelo.
these are the hollies, right?
Yes. I'm making a motion to have an approval on estimate number 304 to remove the trees in the
holly
in the holly trees. And this estimate is for $3,250. Also in 4 payments.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Unanimous. Motion carries.
First motion, so that was holly trees around the townhomes, that was 3250, right?
Correct.
All right.
It was 4 payments.
We're getting there. We're losing people by the minute, but we're getting there. So I want to say quickly, just a couple things about the committees. Compliance committee, they're not here today, but the compliance committee pretty much has been dark for now because Infomark's not doing a good job with the violations. So we felt it was just unfair to be sending letters to 4 or 5 people every month just to charge us the fees on that. We put a kind of stop on it until we get the new management company in. We're going to do a full survey of the entire community and get as many letters out that need to get out so that we can bring everybody under compliance. So that's what's going on with that. Architectural review, is there anybody from architectural review on there? Architectural review has been doing a great job. I mean, we had a bunch of stuff that was late and everything, and I think based on the manager's report, I think they're down to like
4 or 5. Left.
I saw 5.
Yeah. It's like 5 left, so they've been doing good.
So 5 left, and there was like 14 at the beginning of the month, so, they're doing good on that, and, you know, whatever you need to have done, just go ahead and submit it through the website or directly to the management company. Landscaping committee, you want to say anything about the landscaping committee?
I think it's going very well, and I like what I see around the townhomes and the rest of the area. I've done some walks.
Yep.
There's room for improvement.
Yep.
But when we talk to them,
So,
they listen, so I think it's going very well.
so we're holding meetings with Blade Runners every 2 weeks until we get the community up to par, and then hopefully we can go down once a month if possible. But basically, everything that you guys report that needs to be done, that's not being done, we talk about it. We try to see, how we can get things done in a way that is most efficient and try to, get as much done with the time we have. So that's moving forward. Safety committee, you want to say something about the safety committee?
Well, with Anna, they just brought, the deputy here to talk to us. So pretty much that's what we need. Everybody they need to do your own part, and you see something, call it, call the sheriff, because if we all do that, this is gonna be a safe community.
You don't have to run the sheriff, when you see something, say something.
There you go.
That too.
That's right. Yes. We have to do our own policing, unfortunately. I mean, not executing police work, but like he said, eyes and ears, Whatever you see, you report, and hopefully we'll get security in here soon enough so that then we have somebody actually, a professional patrolling that, will actually keep people that don't need to be here out. So that's where we're at with safety. So social and communications committee. So social committee has been working hard to try to get some events for us. Who's that? Okay, so we do have somebody here.
Yeah.
Jeanette, go ahead, social committee.
Hi,
Jeanette?
everybody. Good evening. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. All right, so we have a couple of things planned for the social committee. It's been a little bit of a challenge because we do need participation. We do need volunteers and sponsors for these committees, but I'm doing my best and trying to keep diligent to keep this running. Just a quick reminder, on Monday, October 31st, it is Halloween. So there will be a fun little activity on Florencia Drive from 5:30 to 7:30 is our little trunk or treat event. So even if you can't participate as far as bringing your car and decorating, wearing costumes, just come by and come visit and come meet your neighbors. And also on Saturday, November 12th, they're planning a big Meet the Neighbor barbecue by our picnic area. There's going to be more details to come on that, so keep an eye on that. And then for December, we're thinking some sort of cookie exchange and hot cocoa event for the neighbors and the kids. So you'll be seeing more information on our Facebook and our website, so just keep an eye out on those. So just remember, on Monday from 5:30 to 7:30 on Florencia Drive, closest to the clubhouse, is the trunk or treat event.
Oh, yeah, sorry, hold on.
November 12th.
I say no, I'm sorry, she said, I got the November 12th one. What was the December one?
December, no, she's saying
There's
December.
no date for that yet. We're still planning, but there'll be information coming out later.
Sorry, I'm typing as fast as I can here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you Monday, everybody.
Thank you. So again, social committee needs help, needs volunteers. There's room for improvement. Communications committee also, you want to say anything about communications?
Right now,
Nothing.
Okay, so again, we need volunteers for the communications committee as well. Any open comments? Anybody want to bring anything up? Now is the time that we might have not covered that you guys think may need to be addressed? No?
I would like to mention something about the open comments. In regards to the 2018 HOA board, they didn't have the choice to get the cable. The cable contract is from 2010, and it's on the name of Ms. Nancy Marchena. She's the developer's sister-in-law. You already know that. So they're going to give you the stalling phase. So good luck with that.
Well, like I said, if they come to the table and they offer something good, great.
Yeah.
If not, the court case is still going.
Also, if you know the rule, if the Florida statute, right? When the board was turned over, that was the time for the board of homeowners after the developer to cancel that contract.
No.
Yes.
That's a Florida statute.
Yes, a Florida statute. Yes. Yes.
That contract is from 2010.
It doesn't matter when anything before
a developer can be canceled at the first meeting of the homeowner turnover.
And you guys failed.
That's where you guys failed is the biggest.
Yes.
I will send you a copy of the statute so you can read it. I will.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you. That's the reality.
Because that's not true.
Okay.
By the way, it's not $60 that can go down. It could go down to $50 per house. So we are paying $30 per home extra. So that's $150,000 per year that the HOA is paying over to that meter.
But right now the spectrum is 57 something, $60 a month.
It is 50.
So, listen, if
But,
it was 50,
yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, thank you.
Good work.
Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's my job, and my kid will go on, it should be another $10 off. Because I mean, I go home, I can't get nothing TV, no, nothing there. They just sent me brand new equipment because I couldn't even get nothing like that.
Yep. In here, we're trying the best to find the best solution. If we can get out of the contract, maybe we can get fiber in here, you know, so.
Okay, I'm gonna give this here letter to Mario. I have to say something, I'm gonna read the letter. I became a member of the board because when I bought the house 3 years ago, I saw a concept of the community. And the concept that was sold to me was the way the community was before the prior board, when the management company was the builders, had the rules and everything. I was concerned about the direction of the community at that time. And my concern was shared with this gentleman here. That's why they have my support to become here. Now, in the last 3 months, my life changed drastically. I had a lot of things on my plate. Me as a 21 years active service Army, deploying everywhere around the world, I always place my job, my soldiers, and my country first. Today, I want to resign from my responsibility on the board. And the reasons are, like I said, the three last months, my wife retired first. I became a grandpa. And I was not every single day. I was not there when my child born. I was not there Mother's Day, Father's Day. And I want to do that now. I'm retired. And very good. Other than that, I lost cancer. My brother-in-law 2 weeks ago. My family needed the support. I got my parents alive in Puerto Rico as well, in my support. So I won't be around that much in the community. I just bought an RV today as well. So I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna enjoy life. I know this community is in good hands, and you guys want to move forward in the positive way, the community. So, employees, and I hear my letter, I'm gonna read it now. Mario Cordova, President of the Azul Homeowner Association, Kissimmee, Florida 34744. Dear Mario, it is a regret that I'm writing to inform you of my decision to resign my position of the member of the board of directors for Via Sol Homeowner Association effective immediately. After having a conversation with my family, life changes event, future travel plans, and also other commitments have become too overwhelming for me to be able to fulfill the requirements of my position and responsibilities on the board and homeowners. I feel it is the best for me to make room for someone with the time, the energy devoted to the position. It has been a pleasure being part of the Azul Homeowner Association for this little time period, and look forward to continue to participation as a member of any homeowner social committee and providing some ideas to become better community. I am so proud that we have accomplished on this little time a positive change for the community. I have no doubt the board will continue success in the future. If I can be any assistance, the time it will take to fill the position, please don't hesitate to ask. Best regard, Ariel Ivan Correa Betancourt, U.S. Army Captain, retired.
Family first, man.
So we're good? Is that it? We adjourned?
Yeah, let's adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, sorry, guys. We're adjourned this meeting, 9:02. Wow, we're late. We're gonna get a bill.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll do it next time.